Reggie here, your friendly neighborhood bodybuilder and comic book collector, and I want to welcome you to another one of my live streams. This is the second live stream of the week, and just like the last one, I am very excited about this one. We are starting just a couple of minutes late because I was too busy running my mouth with my guest, Jack, talking about awesome comic books, and we were having a great conversation about the comics that are sitting behind him right now. But Jack, I want to say welcome to you. We have had a lot of really awesome conversations over the last couple of months, but this is the first time that you've been able to join the live stream. And I want to say welcome and also thank you for taking time out to actually be with me today.
Thanks a lot, Reggie. I really appreciate it. It's amazing being on this side of the camera with you instead of just watching it, late at night. So it's great to be on with you guys, and I'm excited to be here.
I always tell people the live shows are very different, because you can sit in your office or wherever, your sofa, but it's different to be in the live stream, certainly as a guest, but it's also different to actually be one of the folks that are actually in the chat. And I'm going to say hello to a few people here in just a few moments, but before we go too far, Jack, there are probably people that are going to be watching this thing live, and there's people that are probably going to be watching this back on replay. And people are going to be having questions about what Grail Rewards is. So right from the top, I want to start off with what we call in the sales industry, because that's my industry, with the elevator pitch. So if you and I were in an elevator and you were breaking down Grail Rewards for me, what is the 30-second elevator pitch on what you're doing?
So basically what you're saying, Reggie, is I'll put it in a different term for you. I used to practice law. So this is more like my opening statement. So that's basically what I would say. So here's really what it is in a nutshell. I'm a comic book collector like you. I'm 52 years old, so I'm older than you. And I've been collecting since I was about 8. There's been minor breaks over the years, like most of us. But when I came back to collecting just a few years ago, everything had changed. This graded industry just took over comics. That plus the emergence of the Marvel movies had exploded comic books and the values beyond anything that I had ever seen, which is a great thing if you own those books. But if you don't own those books, it's not so great because everybody wants those grails and it's hard to get to them. Well, with Grail Rewards, what we did was we wanted to create a way to be able to have a fun, entertaining way of people having an opportunity or a chance to get a book that maybe they would not be able to afford on their own. However, the way to do this is really what sets us aside. We don't actually sell any books whatsoever. We've created a platform. It's the first of its kind, essentially, where people come into the platform, they purchase digital advertising. And when they purchase the digital advertising, it converts and gives them a reward. And we call those Grail coins. All right. It's the same as like Kohl's bucks. When you go to Kohl's and you buy something, they give you these reward bucks. Well, with us, we have digital products. You buy the digital products, you get the reward coins. And then the magic happens where you turn those reward coins, those Grail coins, into the potential of getting some of the books that you have behind you right now. And that's how it works.
So to be clear, it is not the actual books that I have behind me. There are other books that you offer up, but there was a lot in that. There was a lot in that discussion that you just shared with us, and we are going to spend time over the course of this conversation digging into the stuff that Jack just dropped on us. So let's put a pin in that for just a moment, but we are going to revisit that. I want to say hello to the many people that have actually joined us here in the chat. My buddy Perry is here. Chris Barrett is in the house. Mr. Q Comics is here. Dez Funko Popping Comics is here. Monty is here. I think that's the first time I've ever seen you, Monty. Welcome to the live chat. Jam Sessions is here. Tina Cranston, my good friend. Reginald McGinty, welcome to the chat. Absolutely love that first name. Comic Books NYC is here. He says he cannot stay long, but will watch the replay. Brother, thank you for swinging by and spending just a little bit of time with us. Ross is here. Hack X is here. Bama Links is in the house. So is Chuck, Jethro, and Jonah are all here. It is good to see each and every one of you guys. And again, I want to thank you for taking time out of your evening to actually spend a little bit of time with us talking about a new way to actually score a Grail. And so I actually have some objectives for this live stream. You know, I do a lot of presentations, and one of my things is always to have like a purpose. What is the purpose for this? And so we have two of them. One is to improve people's awareness and understanding of GrailRewards.com. Two, we want to differentiate GrailRewards.com from other raffle services, because there are other raffle services out there, but we want to kind of highlight what makes Grail Rewards different from that. So we're going to spend, as I mentioned, a little bit of time kind of talking about that. And if you guys haven't yet subscribe to the channel, I definitely want to encourage you to do so that you can stay abreast of all the content like this that I release on a weekly basis. So let's start to break this down, Jack. Let's take some time over the next 45 minutes or an hour or so to kind of break this thing down. So raffles aren't new. Shocker, right? Raffles aren't new, and people can actually find raffles on Facebook. They can find them on Instagram. So tell us, what makes Grail Rewards different from these other raffle auctions that people can actually see online?
Absolutely, Reggie. Well, here's the thing. As an attorney, I was fascinated by raffles, these mystery boxes, things that you see at the conventions. The problem with a lot of these concepts, number one, are they safe and secure? And number two, are they being done on a platform that they're actually supposed to be done on? Raffles are not legal in most states. So let's talk about that right away. If you're not a charity, or there's not another product that's being purchased, a straight raffle in most cases is not legal. So what we wanted to do was we wanted to take the excitement that people have for these mystery boxes, raffles, things of this nature, and create a completely new animal. And that's what Grail Rewards is. We created this platform from scratch. There was nothing like this. The difficulty, Reggie, is that you can't do a straight raffle. So what we decided to do was, what can we do? What can we sell? What could the product be that would mean something to more than just us, just the comic book community? That was number one. That was very high on my list. And we solved that by basically making the product banner ads. So most people that own a website or have something to advertise want traffic. And I've been very, very involved in a lot of other websites that generate traffic for other websites. In this case, what we did was we created the banner ads, but I wanted to go one step further. And the step further is that we are doing charity banners. So if you don't have something to advertise, you can still purchase the banner impressions, and they show on the bottom of our website, which you'll see. So the great thing is that we want to give back. So when people come to GrailRewards.com, if they don't have something to advertise, they can buy the banner impressions, click a few buttons, and donate those banner impressions to pre-approved charities. And by doing this, they're earning the equal number of Grail coins. So that's our way of giving back. We call it Grail Rewards Gives Back. And right now, that's the product that people are buying, is the advertising.
Okay, so the first thing that I kind of heard you talk about was that raffles and mystery boxes, the way that they are currently being done, isn't potentially legal in every state, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
So part of what Grail Rewards is doing is attempting to legitimize and legalize, if you will, the Grail and mystery box concept. Is that fair?
Yes, that's fair. And to take it a step further, I mentioned the Kohl's box.
Mm-hmm.
So differentiate yourself by doing this. If you run a straight raffle, which some of these people do, there is no way that that's legal. I can tell you that right now. It's just not. I wish it was, but it isn't. So you have to do something. You cannot run a straight raffle. So what we've done is we've created a product. That product is advertising, digital advertising. So when you come to our website, you are purchasing advertising by clicking a button. you're donating that advertising to these really amazing charities.
Yep.
And in that motion, you are being able to get a reward, just like you do when you go to Kohl's or anything else. We're able to give you a reward. And that reward is in the form of digital currency, which are called Grail coins,
Yep.
like Bitcoins.
Yep. So just to be clear, a straight raffle is basically I am exchanging money for an opportunity to win this book. That's a straight raffle, and that's what you're saying is essentially potentially illegal. Yes?
Yes, the laws are different in every state, but that is correct.
And the way that Grail Rewards is attempting to legitimize and legalize it is by basically having people exchange not money for an opportunity to win, but money for an advertisement product or some other kind of product that we'll probably talk about in a moment. But it's an exchange, very similar to your point to if you go to a grocery store and you buy food, you get points, if you will. That's a similar concept, yes?
Yes, absolutely. And we know that major brands all over the country now, especially on the internet, are giving you rewards. Even on eBay, when you guys are purchasing your comic books,
Yep.
we all are getting those eBay bucks now.
So as a reminder,
So we took the reward. Yeah.
if you haven't signed up for eBay Bucks, this is a great opportunity to remind you guys to definitely sign up for that. You can get 8 to 10% back, but that's a great real world example for all of us to remember. And that's what the big difference is between an illegal and a legal form of raffle. I think it's a very concrete example.
Yes, yes. And I've been involved with a lot of other websites that have done rebate models. So I've been doing this for about 10 years. So what we call it is a crowd reward model. So it's something unique for many people. They don't quite understand that concept. So when you go to Kohl's and you get those Kohl's bucks or the eBay bucks, you're then able to spend them on something. So understand that the difference and the tweak here is that we're giving you those same bucks. They're called Grail coins, but instead of you using them and having to build them up for so long to be able to get an ASM 129 or whatever it may be, we're using a crowd system. So what that means is you're able to take those coins and then put them towards a slot. So it is a raffle style reward. So instead of you having to, get 1,000 of these coins, you're able to basically, let's say, get 10 or 15 or 20 of them and able to put them towards a crowdsourced reward. So when we have a book up, it may be 10 slots, 10 slots or spots, and you may only have to put up 10 or 15 of these Grail coins to win a book that is worth a lot of money.
Yep. So I want to rewind on something that you were breaking down earlier, and I want to make sure that people appreciate it. And then please correct me if I've gotten anything wrong. So essentially, people are taking cash, money, and converting it into credits. These credits are used to buy digital content. And based upon these purchases, people are awarded reward coins. And these reward coins can be used to select spots and raffles.
Correct. It's a raffle.
Go ahead.
Correct. It's you got it correctly. That's it. You're basically getting the reward coins for advertising or helping us promote these charities. You're then taking your coins it's in your wallet, so to speak. And then you can either hold on to them and build them up until there's a reward product offering that you like, a book, a comic book that you like, or you can immediately take them and put them towards a slot in one of the reward product offerings.
So I come to the website today. And I should also mention that you have, and I forgot this, and that's my bad. You have an announcement that you're going to be making towards the end of this presentation. So for everyone that is watching this now live and also on replay, you definitely want to stay tuned to the end because Jack has a pretty solid announcement that I think is going to be of interest to you guys. But Jack, you've mentioned several times these digital, I can't remember the term, let's call it digital content in the form of advertisement. And you've also talked about these charities. Can you talk a little more specifically about who the charities are? Because what you're talking about is exchanging money and buying advertising. So I guess I do have a business, but let's say that I don't have a business. I can donate that money towards a charity for the charity to have free advertising on the site. Is that correct?
That's absolutely correct. This is another unique thing that people, they have to wrap their brain around it a little bit. It's a very, very different concept for people. So yes, you are correct. If you come to the website, if you have a business, you can buy banner impressions for your business and show the banners on all the pages of the website. But many people don't have a business. And this is where this incredible win-win situation happens. So what we're doing is we have about 5 charity banners up now. And these are major charities. We're going to be constantly adding new charities, and they're already coming to us now. We've had many charities come to us and want to get involved with the website. So basically what's happening is if you don't have a banner, you can click a button and you can either donate the banner impressions that you bought across the board to all of the charity banners, or you can specifically pick the charity that you want to donate them to. And these will be growing over time.
So if like I'm a big animal lover, I could potentially donate whatever money I converted to, I don't even know, what is it, like the Humane Society or something like that. And they would basically have banner advertisement on your site that will essentially drive traffic to their site to maybe make a donation or something like that. Is that accurate?
Yes, that's completely accurate. And remember, we're in beta launch right now. So there's so many more facets to what we want to build. We want to get involved even more with the charities. We want to do more. So what you're seeing now is really the tip of the iceberg. We're going to have a lot more charities, and there's going to be ways that you're going to be able to actually directly through us be able to help those charities out. Right now, the way that you're helping the charities is by advertising them for free. They're not paying anything. You're paying to advertise them. And by the way, I think there may have been a question earlier. So the way that the banner impressions work, if anybody's interested, so it basically, when you take your dollar and you convert it to digital credits in our website, and you buy packages of these digital credits, anywhere from, I think, $10 all the way up, right? You can buy as many as you want. When you go and you buy the banner impressions, one digital credit, which is equivalent to $1, equals 100 times that banner will be shown. So you are really helping a charity. And we are going to be able to do a lot of promotions where we're going to be pushing people on certain days through those banners by various means to get them through those banners and to actually donate directly to those charities. So that's how it works. So basically, it's a one-to-one situation. It's $1 to a digital credit, and then it's $1 for 100 banner impressions. And for every digital credit that you put towards the banners, you're getting 1 Grail coin. So it's awesome. 1-1. It's a 1-1. Yeah,
100 to 1.
Yeah, the banner impressions kind of throws it off a little bit, right? But the digital credits to the Grail coins, which is what most people want to know, is 1.
There you go. And I think that's important. But I think to someone else's comment in here, I think it was Chuck basically talking about how, it's giving back to charities. And so, Jack, he does have a really good question here. And his question is, how does a charity actually register with the site? So if he has a charity in mind, or if there's a charity out there where he's like, hey, I'm going to be sending money to grailrewards.com. I want my favorite charity to benefit from this. Is there a process set up right now for charities to put their hand up and get some of that free advertising?
Absolutely. So we are going to have a component that's being built right now. There's so many things that we're building at once here. You cannot imagine, when you try to do something that no one's done before, what that equates out to for technology. But at the moment, we're getting a lot of people coming to us, actually charities to organizations, through the contact form on the website. So they're coming directly to us. They're letting us know what they stand for. They're giving us information on the charity. And then we're having conversations with them. Actually, in the future, I'll tell you what I'd really love to do. I'd like to set up kind of a board of people from our community, from the comic book community, and let that board decide who the charities are on the website. And that's what, remember, this website is really set up as a community website. We're doing this as comic book collectors, for comic book collectors, trying to mold the two things together, charities and amazing graded books. That's what we're trying to do. And we need help. So we
Yep.
would love to set up a board of people that are going to help us make those decisions as to what charities you guys want on the website.
Very good. And then Chuck's, the tail end of his question was around tax status. So 501c3, like what kind of tax status is required, if you can talk about that at all right now?
In terms of for the charity?
Correct. Yes.
For the charity, yeah. You know what? That's something we've been talking to our accountants as well about that. And you know what they've told us? It's kind of interesting because we're not taking money and funneling it directly to the charities. It really comes down to whatever we want to promote. So as a community, I'm not even going to say me. I'm going to say as a community, I would like to have the input from the community, what charities. Now, obviously, we want to stay away from political things because everybody's different in that space. We all know that. But we want to stick to those things that everybody, we know there's a few things we all want to, help with. And that's children, and that's people in need, and that's animals, and that's the environment. And those are the charities that we want to kind of reach out to right now.
I think that's a legit statement because children and pets is an automatic win. That is the environment. I don't know, but the other two you mentioned, old people, babies, and dogs, you are good, and that's a safe harbor. So, the Comic Book Defense Fund, I think is what it's called. You may want to consider that one. But you've mentioned a couple of times over the course of the last couple of minutes, doing something that has not been done before. And you and I have had a lot of conversations, so I have to sometimes ask you questions that I kind of sort of know the answer to. You have basically built this platform from the ground up, because this didn't exist prior to what you're trying to do. Can you tell people a little more about that? Not secrets, but just kind of articulate to folks how you had what you went through to get this thing up and running.
Okay, well, here's the basis of this from the comic book side. Has come from a lot of people that were already doing these raffles and mystery boxes and things like that. So that's where that came from. But in terms of creating the overall concept and the technology, let me tell you, Reggie, it's unbelievable. For the last 10 years, I've been like a kid in the candy store. So we have a team of guys behind us that can build anything that I can dream up. And that has put me in such an amazing spot. I have been able to do so many creative projects. So they're used to me coming to them with these nightmares that they have no idea what I'm talking about. Some of these guys didn't even know what a raffle was.
Yeah.
So if you had to see the document that I had to create to explain this concept from a technology and a functionality concept, it was unbelievable.
Yep.
But they got it done. It was 6 months of working on this and tweaking it. And we're still just really in a beta launch. This is the pilot that you're seeing. This website is not the finished product. We're constantly tweaking and making it better. And one of the questions that nobody asked yet, I'm surprised. The first question I get all the time about the technology is, when are we going to have an app?
Oh, yeah.
And the app is coming. I promise you guys, the app is coming. I know you don't want to get off your cell phones. So we will have an app. It's coming. I just couldn't do everything. I ran out of time.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's legit. But I think that background kind of helps people. So for those that are just now joining, Jack is going to have some announcements a little bit later in this live stream. So you definitely want to stay tuned for those things. So Jack, one of the things that I experienced the 2 times that I did a raffle was that there was a main and a satellite, or a main and a mini. Do you guys use that same setup of mains and minis or satellites or whatever it is, or is it just like what they call a straight field? Like, how do you manage that?
okay, well, this was actually one of the biggest issues, because the way that we have everything done now is that you're actually purchasing the advertising to get the Grail coins. So it's taken quite a while to figure out how to actually do what you're calling a satellite or a mini.
Mhm.
So right now, the component is being built We're going to be testing it probably next week. So there will be our version of what you're calling a satellite or a mini. And the way that I'll give you a little bit of information on that, the way that that's going to work is it costs us money to create the banners. So there's money involved in us actually creating new charity banners. So everything needs to be, connected back to the charities, connected back to a product. So the minis themselves, we're going to put those up sporadically, and the money that's coming in from the minis is going to pay the graphic design and all the other technology stuff going into the new banners. So that's how we've had to figure that out. That was not an easy one, let me tell you.
Yeah.
So right now we are doing minis, but they're not on the website. They're taking place on Instagram directly. And the Instagram account, which you guys should all be on, is Grail_rewards. And that's where all the previews of the books, that's where all the latest information is. And that's where we're doing these, what we're calling flash promotions. We're not calling them minis.
So for those that maybe aren't familiar with some of the terminology that we're throwing around here, and Jack, you may have to correct me because I'm not the most experienced in some of this stuff. The way that it's set up is that you can spend less money for an opportunity to get into a mini. And if you win the mini, then you get a slot in the main. And typically the main is more money. So for example, if the main is $10, a mini might be $1. And if you win the mini, you get basically a discounted slot in the main. That's basically the way that this thing works.
Correct. In our situation, it's a little different than that because remember, our product is not the comic book. So it's not the same as a raffle. So we can't do, and nobody should really be able to do it, honestly.
Yeah.
You can't really do that because what you're doing is you're raffling off for money a spot in another raffle, right?
Yeah.
So what's happening here to do this in a legal way is that our flash promotions accomplish the same thing, but you're not actually, it's actually better our way because you're not winning a set spot in a main. What you're doing is you're taking your 10 Grail coins or 10 digital credits, and you're then making it into 100 Grail coins. So you're accomplishing the same thing. You're taking 10 of something and you're making it into, let's say, 100 or 80 or 200, however many slots there are. But you're not automatically getting a spot in a main. You're able to actually, we put those Grail coins directly into your account, and you can use them for any of the reward product offerings.
Gotcha.
So it's not tied to a specific book.
Gotcha. We may have to spell a few things out because my buddy Chris Barrett is confused about a mini.
Okay.
He thinks a mini is a car and the main is the state. Chris, that's not what we're talking about here. Chris always keeps it fun. So part of the reason why I brought up like minis and mains, and this is honestly, this is part of the reason why I've like sworn off raffles. And that's part of the reason why I wanted to have you on the channel, because I've essentially sworn off raffles. And here's the reason why. When I did the math on one of these raffles that I found on Instagram, when I did the math and I added up all the mini slots and all the main slots, what I basically realized was that that person that was sponsoring that raffle made 3 to 4 times the FMV of that comic. And, it may have only cost people, $5, $10 to get into the raffle, but that person walked away with 4 times the FMV. And that just didn't sit well with me. And so one of my questions that I have for you is how do you guys handle things like that? How are you handling the fair market value of the comic versus the money that is generated via the system?
Great question. And I can tell you that was my first question as well, Reggie, when I got involved with this project. There was no way that myself or my partners felt comfortable with a $3,000 book value and the amount of banner ads and Grail coins equaling out to $7,000, $6,000. That is insane.
Yeah.
It goes against what we're trying to do here as a community. So I will tell you, the answer is very simple. We use Go Collect, and we look and we evaluate exactly what the book's cost was. Now, you have to realize something. We're purchasing these books. So before they even get to be a reward product offering, what we call an RPO, we actually have to buy the books.
Yeah.
So the math is there. We will never be any different than when you guys are looking at eBay or anything else. We are always going to be in line with those last 10 books sold, the same way, because that's how I buy my books. I go to Go Collect just like you,
Yep.
and I evaluate the grades, and that's exactly what you should be doing. Unfortunately, there are always people that take advantage of the situation. And that's the other reason why we wanted to elevate what was being done that was entertaining, that was fun, and take it off of those platforms where there was no control whatsoever, and put it into a viable, credible platform where people felt, number one, safe, that it was legitimate, that they could speak with us, and that they were also helping the charities and getting something for their money.
And I'm gonna be honest with you, I have no problem with people making profit, right? I have no problem with that. But there should be some correlation, right, between the amount of money that is raised and the value of the book. And what I'm hearing from you is that those things will be in alignment. And that honestly gives me a lot of comfort. And we've spoken about that in detail over the last couple of months. And again, that's what also gave me comfort to say, Jack, why don't you come on the show and talk to people more about Grail rewards? Because I think what you're saying, it makes sense to me. What I see on Instagram and on Facebook doesn't make sense to me. And again, for your average person, they're like, it's $1, it's $5, it's $10, something like that. But it's just, it just doesn't sit well with me. And actually, I rolled out a video at the beginning of the year where one of my resolutions was no more raffles. I basically swore them off. And then here you come talking about raffles, but it's night and day. At least from my understanding of what I am seeing, it is night and day different. And I definitely appreciate that. One thing that I wanted to revisit is that you've mentioned a couple of times your partners, right? You are not alone in this. And I don't know if you can divulge who these people are, but you are not alone in this initiative. Do you want to talk a little bit about who your partners are and what they have been involved with?
Well, the only thing I can tell you is this. I went to the community itself to determine what people liked, what they didn't like, and what was popular. And by doing that, I met many of the people that were either already doing the raffles, but I also met a lot of the players, the people that actually enjoyed doing the raffles from the other side. And this combination of the actual players that have been doing it for the last couple of years, plus discussing with people that were running some of these raffles and these mystery boxes, which we don't do that, but I wanted to gauge the interest in people doing this. So I learned quite a bit, just like you're doing now. I learned so much about what some of these people were doing that was absolutely wrong. And it's exactly what you're talking about. I don't want to ever throw anybody under the bus. People have to make their own ethical decisions in business.
Yep.
But let me tell you, I have seen just in the last couple of weeks, your AF-15 book, okay? And you can look right on Go Collect and see what it goes for. And man, people are, I guess some people don't care how much money is coming in, and maybe they say it's not important, but I have to be able to wake up in the morning and feel good about what I'm doing.
Yep.
And the people that I surrounded myself with that are helping to build this community and this platform, they have to have the same attitude as me. Listen, you can either make the fast buck or the slow nickel. And we need to keep the website open. It costs a lot of money to build this platform, let me tell you.
Yeah,
and the app, just to build the app, the next thing is a whole bunch more money. But you have to do things the right way. There's a right and a wrong way with everything. We have to make money to keep the website open and keep the technology going and these web guys going to be able to continue to build. But we don't have to make it all off of you.
Exactly. I think that's a wonderful point. I've built a couple of apps, brother, and they are expensive, especially if they are well functioning. So someone asked a really good question here. And Tony asked the question here. He says, and it goes to a comment that you were making about you guys have to buy these books. And I think, and he's basically like, if you have to buy the book for five and you basically have an FMV of five, then how do you make money? And I think what it probably comes down to is that you guys are buying potentially in bulk and you're buying smartly and trying to buy below FMV in order to actually turn a profit on these books. But can you talk a little bit about the buying strategy to address, I think, Tony's really great question?
Yeah, that is a great question, Tony, and we had to actually address that ourselves when we got into this business to build the platform. Here's the best answer: if you guys watch channels like Regie or We Love Comics or ETA Nick, what they all preach is the same thing. You can close your eyes and buy a book, or you can do your research and really be patient about finding those books. Let's be honest about it. There is plenty of books out there, and we only do graded books, by the way. I don't know if we mentioned that. So there are plenty of books out there. There's always opportunities. There are people that need a new car that maybe unfortunately had something happen in their life where they need to sell a few books.
True.
So they know me and they know a lot of the guys that are working with me on the project. So we get called on a regular basis from dealers, from collectors all over the country that say, man, I kind of need money now for whatever it may be. And they know that we're not going to rip them off, but we're going to work together to get a fair deal. And that's the way. That's the simple answer, because we don't have to put any kind of giant number. There's no major margins going on here. It just doesn't fit into the business model. So if we can get a $5,000 book for $3,800, for $4,000, for $4,500 sometimes even, there's plenty of room there for us to make a little bit and keep rolling. We need to make everybody happy in the deal. We don't need to make a ton of money off of every book. That's just not what's necessary here.
Yep.
It's not. It's volume. In my eyes, the future here is that we can literally have 50 to 100 books up at any time, so that everybody has something from Golden Age, Silver Age, Marvel, DC, all different price points. And that's only going to happen if, as a community, everybody enjoys the concept and it makes sense.
Yep. So I want to clear a couple of things up. I unfortunately do not have AF-15 just yet. That was a very gracious.
Well, maybe we can find you that AF-15.
No. So here's the thing: is I actually, this is what I was going to say: is I actually have a line on an AF-15 right now through a dealer that I met at a con, and he watches the channel. We've had wonderful conversations. He actually offered me a AF-15 yesterday, and it was spot on to FMV.
Really?
I literally opened up Go Collect and was like, so what is this thing worth? He quoted the number and I was like, that's hard to argue with because it is FMV. And that goes to the point of, you don't have to make your money on the back of every single person, right? And part of the reason why he's even selling the AF-15, he has 5 of them, by the way, is that he wants to make another purchase. And so he was selling it to me basically at FMV to get the cash in order to buy another set of books. So to that point, there are ways out there where you can actually acquire books at or below FMV. And I actually do it a lot. And a lot of it is through relationships that I have with people that I've been able to do that. Your partners have been in this market for a while and they have relationships. So it goes a long way. And that's kind of what I've talked about in some of my videos recently is not about being transactional, but about having a real relationship with comic shop owners and dealers and brokers, because they can make some magic, you know?
Yes. And not only that, but remember, the only cost of us running the website is the technology, right? So if we have to, there's nothing here, because remember, this is not a buyer and seller platform. If we get a great book that we know everybody wants, there isn't anybody saying that we have to make some specific amount of money on the book. There are books where we're probably not going to make almost anything, but it's a book that we have multiples of and we know people want. So there's not a line here where it says that if we're not making some big amount of money on a book, we're not going to put it up. It's just not in the cards. That's just not what we're doing.
There you go. So Jack, I want to I'm wondering if you can take a couple of moments and actually show us the grailrewards.com website. Can we do that?
I think we can.
All right, so let's take a couple of moments and have you kind
Let's
of
see if we can
show people the site and maybe just kind of point out a couple of things to get people comfortable with what the site looks like and what they might experience if they go there on their own. And huge shout out to Captain Crunch for that wonderful super chat. I definitely appreciate that. A little bit closer to the AF15 every super chat that I get. So Jack, I'm gonna go ahead and let you pull this thing up.
All right, so I think you guys should be seeing the front end right now. All right, so this is grailrewards.com. This is the beta launch, so things are going to be changing on the fly. We're getting a lot of feedback from people, what they like, what needs to be tweaked. But the website's pretty clean. So this is what you see when you go to grailrewards.com. What you're not seeing is right here on the right side of the top, there would be a registration button. And obviously registering on grailrewards.com is completely free. So if we scroll down, this is an introduction video. You guys can watch that later. It's a little cartoon that we had created. And this takes you through the process that we talked about, the 3 steps. And right now, during our beta testing, this is live, and you guys can obviously jump on. We have two books that are live right now. So you can see there's ASM 194. And what you're seeing here is it's a 9.4 CGC. There's 10 spots, okay? And there's 10 Grail coins per spot needed. And there's 45 spots. So I'm going to click through here and show you so it makes more sense. Okay, so what you're seeing is there's 45 spots on the right. And if you had at least 10 Grail coins, you could click and claim one of these open spots, okay? And you can claim multiple spots. So you can claim it if it's a book you really, really want a shot at, you can claim 2 or 3 spots or whatever you want. So once these spots all get filled, this RPO product is done. It alerts us, and then we go to the next phase, which is doing the drawing. And we can talk about how we do the drawing in a minute. So let me just show you a couple of other things here. So if we were to click back to the home page, you would see the other book. So this is a Batman 251. It's an amazing book, a 9.4. This was just put up. So this one is a more expensive book, as you guys know, especially in a 9.4. So there's 70 coins needed per spot, and there's 30 spots, okay? So if we click in, let me do one more thing here. Let me click back through here, and then we click to the dashboard. So this is what you would see once you register. Right? So I have no digital credits right here to buy banners with. So if I wanted to, I would click into purchase credits, and I would buy using PayPal right now. I would convert dollars into digital credits. And then with the digital credits, I would be able to go into the banner area, right? And it would show up here that I have credits. I don't have credits right now. And I'd be able to click on add banner and be able to purchase the banner ads and then be able to put them towards any of the charity banners that show up. All right. So if we go back to the dashboard, you can see that there's 2 active RPOs, reward product offerings right now. This account has 35 coins. All right. So if I wanted to, I could take those coins and now use them for the RPO. All right, and this is just our news section. This is a video. We update people here. There's also news here. And by the way, this is the flash promotion, like the minis. This explains the flash promotion and the minis. And one more thing, let's see. So if you wanted to see your history, you would go into RPO history right here. So these were tests that we were doing. This was a Doom Patrol book that we were testing out before we went live. So if I were in here, it would show that I had put 5 Grail coins in here right now. And then this closed, and then we'd be able to click here to see the video of the drawing. Okay, so everything is right here for you. All the RPOs that you've done, the reward product offerings, if they're open or closed, and then if they're closed, you can watch the actual drawing video right here. And that's basically the story. So let me click back so that you can talk, and then you guys can ask questions. I know that was kind of quick.
So there are a certain number of slots that are available for the RPO. People can select their slots, and then how quickly after all of those slots fill up does the raffle actually run? Can you talk a little bit about like how things get wrapped up?
Yes, absolutely. So so it's interesting because the people that have done this before.
Sorry, Jack. Chris is hilarious. He says, "Do you have a monkey spinning the wheel picking?"
The monkey costs way too much, and my web developers are much cheaper than the monkey. So there's your answer. so no monkey.
He's hilarious. He really is funny.
That was a good question. There you go. So here's how it works. The team gets an email that says the RPO has been closed, right? All the spots are filled. And what we're doing right now is using random.org, okay? And we're using what's called a multi-round system. What does that mean? It means that it rolls the dice and it gives us a number between 3 and 12, okay? And that's the amount of times that we randomize that list that you just saw with the numbers next to it. And for security purposes, you're given a code. So in the video, we show you the code verification. So if you actually take the code and go to random.org, you can see that this was only run once. You can see the history. And that's the reason that that's being done. Now, I can't give away too much tonight, but I'm going to tell you guys something really interesting. In the process of building out this concept, we realized that there was a whole nother concept here, that there was lots of companies and people doing these randomizing and giveaways for lots of different things that have nothing to do with comic books. So we are in the process of building another entity that's going to be more secure. It's going to be a decentralized random number generator. So it's not going to come from a website. It's going to come from a decentralized. And I had to learn all this stuff, boy. Let me tell you, it's unbelievable what you have to learn. So it's called a pseudo number generator. And we are probably going to be the first ones to use blockchain technology. So if you guys are uncomfortable with that or you don't know what that is, that's the technology behind Bitcoin. Exactly. So we are in the process of building this whole nother entity that everybody can use. It's not just being created for us.
And the reason for that, and not to go down that road, but it's more because it's decentralized, because you're using the blockchain. It is a much more secure way to legitimize the randomization of numbers.
Yes, that's correct. That's absolutely correct.
Can you tell that I used to be a web developer back in the day?
Yes, it's sad.
You're talking dirty to me with all this.
But you're the only. You may be the only web developer that also was a fitness champion.
That is true, brother. I have a varied background. Let me tell you. Nobody puts baby in the corner, because I always like to surprise people with the stuff that I pull out. People are like, whoa, I didn't know that. Yes, I am a diverse individual. So a couple of questions. So have you guys, at one point in the conversation, you made mention that you guys could put up 100 books or so, Golden Age, Silver Age, Bronze Age, Modern stuff, a little bit for everyone, I think is what I think I heard you say. Have you guys decided on a frequency of how often books will go up? Because right now you have 2 books up, you're in beta mode. Have you guys landed on it's going to be 5 books, grails, and someone also asked this question about major and minor keys. Can you break down some of that stuff?
Yes. Okay. Since this is a new project, it's really interesting because we're going to have to watch the analytics.
Hmm.
Think about it for a minute. If we were to put up more books than we have the ability to close, so to speak, it wouldn't be a good thing for anybody.
Yep.
So it's going to be one of those deals where we're going to have to gauge things. So as our user base is growing, and that's why we're on your channel, that's why we're asking the community to help us grow and build, we're going to be able to do bigger and better things. That means more books, and that means bigger books.
Yep.
We have a vault, that's what we call it anyway, of books that we've already stored that we are dying to get up. Okay, I can't wait for people to see these books. I'm so excited about them. But we can't do that. It doesn't make sense to put all these books up. So as people are getting comfortable with the concept, as these are being closed, we already closed a few books, by the way.
Hmm.
So even during our beta launch, people went crazy over an ASM book, the Craven. I forgot which one it is. You're the expert on that. One of the first Craven book.
First Craven, that's
It
a good
was,
book, brother. 15.
yeah, yeah. It was.
15.
Oh yeah, that went real quick,
Yeah,
real quick.
that's with the thick
Um,
Spider-Man. That's John Romita did a really thick-waisted, thick-thighed Spider-Man on the cover of that one.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So they went crazy over that book. I can tell you that right now. It's going to be, we're going to have to gauge things. I would like to tell you that we're going to have a schedule of putting these things up. But over the next couple of weeks, as the website's growing, we're going to have to see how that goes. And that's going to tell us how fast we should be putting up more books.
My buddy Ben just corrected me that it was actually not Ramita. It was Stephen Ditko that did the thick
Oh,
waisted.
Ditko. Yeah.
But my thing is, I'm not a fan of letting facts get in the way of a really good story. I was on a roll there, you know. And Ben is really super polite about correcting me on the things that I get wrong. He is an awesome guy. So shout out to you, Ben. And I think we may have Ben on the show at some point. Tech 31 Kid. We may have him on the show very soon because he is a fountain of information. He also has some amazing grails. So what else do I want to ask you about? So we're getting a little close on our time, and I think we've discussed a lot of great things here. You've touched on some of your longer term goals at various points over the course of this conversation. But are there some other more near term goals that you guys have for Grail Rewards that we should make people aware of now?
Yes. Okay. Obviously, the first thing is to get that app done, so it's easier for all these people that can't get away from their phones. That's number one. Number two is to grow the user base so that we can do these bigger books. Because I want to have Marvel, DC. I want to have bigger Grails. Right now, we're doing all kinds. We have a lot of books set up to go. Some bigger key books and some minor keys. They're going to be all over the board. But here's the big thing. I knew when we got involved with doing this that we were building a platform that was going to be for our comic book community, but it was going to be so much more. I have already, people are calling us that want us to put up sneakers. Okay, so the guys that are into like major sneakerheads, they want to stop doing what they're doing on Instagram and move over to our platform to do these high-end sneakers. The same thing with the guys who love the Funko Pops. So there is an endless opportunity to use the crowd reward system for many things outside of just our community. And I guess for the first time, I guess I can say it here, we are going to be launching gold and silver coins and bullion is going to be our second RPO product. So if you guys like to play with gold and silver, like the rest of us, like Uncle Scrooge, I guess, with the big mounds of gold, that's the way I think about it. We will have that opportunity. And that's coming very, very soon because they're begging us to jump and put that up as soon as we can. So probably within the next week, you will see gold and silver coins.
Very nice. So we have a question here that a few people are asking about Probe 186 and Comic Jamboree, I think is how you say it. They're asking the question, and I think I know the answer, whether the banner ads that are being purchased through the platform, whether they will be shown on any other website or whether it's just going to be at the bottom of grailrewards.com.
Great question. Okay. So in the future plans here, as I've already stated, we will have this other website that will be the best random number generator on the planet. So these ads will also be running on our network of sites, which will include that random number generator site. I also have other sites that I own because I've been doing the web stuff forever. And we're in the process of getting the code onto those other sites. So those banner ads are going to be running on a whole network of sites once it's all built out.
So there we go. That's a great
Yeah.
answer to that. For now, it is the one site potentially, but then it will be expanding over time. So the hope is that more and more people will be able to see the banner ads, also driving more traffic to those respective charities that are signed up. So thank you for the spelling there. It's actually Jamboree. Comic Jamboree is the spelling or the correct pronunciation, I should say. So definitely, I appreciate that. So, Jack, we've talked about a lot over the course of this conversation, and the one thing that we haven't really spoken about was what we sort of teed up midway through, and that was the announcement that you wanted to make for, or I should say, during this live stream. Do you want to go ahead and share that announcement with people now?
Sure, absolutely. So you guys have seen the website real quickly. I want to make sure everybody understands we're open, even though we're in beta launch now, we are open. So you can register at grailrewards.com. And it is crucial that you follow us on Instagram. That's where a lot of the news is happening. So we do have Grail_rewards. So it's at Grail_rewards. And we do have a YouTube channel that was just set up and a bunch of the videos are there. I highly recommend you guys watch the videos. You're going to get sick of seeing my face. There's no doubt about that. But go to Grail Rewards on YouTube and I go in detail on a lot of the things we discussed here. So the promotion is real simple. What we're doing is everybody that watches this video, and obviously I have to put a time frame on it because somebody can watch the video a year from now. So everybody between tonight and next Friday, okay? So we're giving everybody basically a whole week. Everybody who joins Grail_rewards on Instagram and then follows that up by registering on grailrewards.com, which is completely free, grailrewards.com, everybody in the database will be registered for a very special raffle that we're going to do. And that is a straight raffle, by the way, because nobody's paying anything. So I guess I can use that word raffle for once. It's kind of funny when you think about it. So we're going to take everybody that's in the database as of next Friday, and what we're going to do is we're coming up with an amazing opportunity. One of my partners is at CE, what is it, CEC2, the big Chicago con that starts tomorrow, the huge comic book convention. He is there and he is hunting down books for not only Grail Rewards, but he's hunting down something special that we're going to give away next Friday. So we're going to make the announcement as to what that is, what that book is, on the Instagram account. So you have to be on the Instagram account to figure out what it is. So that's Grail_rewards, and then register on the website. And we're probably going to be doing that. He's getting there tomorrow, so I want to give him a little bit of time, but probably either Friday night or Saturday morning, we're going to make the big announcement as to what the book is that we're giving away.
He's going to walk in.
That's completely free. And this is
going to buy the first book he sees when he walks in.
yeah, and it's not the Death of Superman book in the bag. I can tell you that. It's so X-Force #1.
Oh man, X-Force #1 with the Deadpool card. Woo!
With the Deadpool
winner
card
every time, my friend. You can tell you watch the show because that is like a long-running joke.
Hey, I have so many of those X-Force #1s that sometimes I go outside and I just use them as a fan.
All right. So let's be clear. So everyone that wants to be entered into this raffle to get basically some kind of yet to be determined free book, they have to go to your Instagram account, Grail_rewards on IG, and register there, and then go to grailrewards.com, register there. Everyone that does
That's
those
it.
two things will
Yep.
somehow magically be entered into a drawing for a book that may be revealed this coming Friday or Saturday. And it will not be X-Force #1 with the Deadpool card. And you must do these things by March 29th, by next Friday. And then I'm hearing you're going to potentially do the drawing somewhere around the 29th or 30th. Is that fair?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And we'll do it live. We'll do it live either on the YouTube channel. So if you guys register on Grail Rewards YouTube channel, we'll either do it live there or on Instagram. The Jim Lee,
It's going to be Jim
Jim
Lee.
Lee X-Men one. Yeah.
Now, I mean, you have to do the connecting cover. You just can't do one of them. It has to be the connecting cover, you
Oh,
know?
wow. Hey, listen, today, by the way, speaking of connecting covers, I don't know if you, on Wednesday, you know, we're at your local comic book store, but the Jim Lee, I don't know, actually it wasn't Jim Lee. The New Justice League of America has the three, the connecting covers, the three.
Haven't seen it.
Oh yeah, yeah, it's a three. So everybody got the three of them shoved into their pick box if they, you know, if they pick up JLA. And there was no way I was getting sucked into that. I picked the one cover that I liked, and I gave the other two back, and I said, give them to somebody else that really wants them. You are not getting me to buy these three books.
Yeah, man. Oh, so
So,
Mr. Q Comic says it's going to be the X-Force #1 with the Shatterstar card, because that is
oh, he figured it out.
that is money right there. So, Jack, I want to thank you, brother. We have had some fantastic conversations over the last few months. I was excited about having you on the live stream. I think people really enjoyed what you were able to kind of illustrate over the course of this conversation. And I really do appreciate you taking time out to join us. My hope is that everyone will take this opportunity to go sub you like Ben did on Instagram. Go over to grailrewards.com, sign up. Let's build this thing up. Let's support it. And maybe you'll walk away with a cool Shatterstar X-Force #1 or some other equally wonderful Grail comic. I am actually going to go register myself. But I want to thank everyone that has been part of this chat. I want to thank you guys for the wonderful questions, and hopefully we were able to answer most of them. If there are outstanding questions, by all means, when this video gets posted up, go in, enter the comment. My hope is that Jack can swing by and check out some of those comments and be able to answer some of the questions that you guys may have. And if you have made it this far, and if you have not yet subscribed to the channel, I definitely want to encourage you to do so that you can stay abreast of all the content that I release on a weekly basis. Jack, before I let people go, are there any parting thoughts or comments that you want to leave us with?
Listen, the whole concept behind Grail Rewards is to have fun and give back. That's all we're trying to do. It's taken 6 months to get here, but we're happy to be here, and we hope everybody enjoys the concept. And if you have feedback for us, this is not one-dimensional. We need everybody, and we're always looking for the feedback. We want to make things better, and we want to do a lot of cool things going forward.
Well done, sir. Thank you very much for that. And I hope that all of you have a wonderful night, and I look forward to speaking with you very soon. And if you need to reach out to me, feel free to do so at RegieCollects on Instagram and RegieCollects@gmail.com. Take care.